And here we are at session 3 of our 3-part study of Christian nationalism. In session 1 and 2, we considered both the what and where questions. What is Christian nationalism and where did it come from? And the who and why questions. Who's attracted to the movement and why are they drawn in? In this final session, we look at a how question. How can we engage across the divide it creates? How can we be agents of reconciliation in the wake of endemic polarization? In our text, The Psychology of Christian Nationalism, Dr. Cooper-White makes it clear from the start that efforts to talk across this increasingly toxic national divide is not an effort to create a false unity based on quieting movements for justice and social change. Challenging systems of oppression simply has to be part of a process of engagement across difference. As Dr. Serene Jones framed it in her 2021 sermon just after the January 6th insurrection, the Christian voice of justice, righteousness, and accountability, and the voice of forgiveness and love and healing the divide are at war inside me, inside us, swirling around the collective psyche of our nation. We are called to hold the tension. We cannot demonize or dismiss or refuse to love the quaking senator or the horned man. God loves them both, as so should we. But God's love is not a get-out-of-jail-free card when it comes to the world of human affairs. We must love them, and in loving them, hold them accountable to the best standards of justice we can muster. Justice and mercy must walk hand in hand. In pursuit of both justice and mercy, this week we've listened to Loretta Ross speak about calling in rather than calling out. We've read Dr. Cooper-White's red light, yellow light, green light framework for talking across the divide, and Dr. Horgan's reflection on de-radicalization. Now, no one says this is easy. Nonviolent resistance isn't easy. Having the courage to have difficult conversations isn't easy. It requires just such holding in tension the impulses of care and outrage. Yet change is possible, and personal relationship is the place where change is most likely to begin. And that's where chapter 3 of our text begins, with a historic reminder that divisiveness is not a new thing in America, and that it's only when the whole story of that history can be intentionally processed, talked about, evaluated, and understood that healing can begin. It's far too easy to settle for a false unity by silencing the oppressed and pacifying the oppressors, a process as old as the prophet Jeremiah, who scolded, "They've treated the wound of my people carelessly, saying, 'Peace, peace,' when there was no peace." One of the great lessons we learn or relearn in tackling the truths of the toxic movement of Christian nationalism is that the powers of backlash, of white supremacy and patriarchy depend on lies and silence in order to keep unjust systems in place. Equipping ourselves and each other to speak truth to those powers, to engage across those differences, is one way we can be agents of change as we work, pray, and strive to be the change we want to see in our communities, our nation, and our world. So, let's get started.